Right, in this video, I want to talk about week one of the August Golden Gift Box crossover event. I don't know if they decided to do a 3 week event this time to make up for the fact that they pushed off the actual event for several months, or if this was always in the cards or what. But anyway, this is week one, so it is a 3 week event this year. They've never done it that way until this year. So I want to start off with basically some of the items that were released. The Enderfang Impaler was actually a token package. It's just a single weapon, MRM swappable. It basically has two modes. It has poison mode and then it has paralyzed mode. It looks to be like one of those that it does a 25% melee, so that's going to be 2.5 power poison. It's a fire element, I think. If you have fire, after each hit, up to 4 times. So my guess is what we're looking at here is 2.5 power per hit, so you can maybe get up to 10 power. That's in line with some of the other stuff that we have. So basically, a 4-hit armor is going to get you 10 power for 4 turns. That should be enough for Void Forged access to Void element. So one of the other items, which is this one here, the Riadnes, I don't know how you pronounce that, Venomous Skith. I'm not for sure where these items come from, because it's a crossover event, so it comes from other AE games. So if I mispronounce something or whatever, go fuck yourself. But Enderfang Impaler is the token item. I think it would probably be worth getting access to, because there's now, if you include this one and then the one from the Chupacabra quest, that's 3 melee slash ranged poison inflict weapons with 4-hit armors that'll give you access to Void Forge. So you could probably start to specialize on that pretty quickly. Moving on, so I picked this one up. This one's going to be a little bit unique. I'll talk about it when I show it. Star Sword I did not get. It's just a burn sword, 4-turn burn, but it has no ranged version, so it's just only melee magic. I don't really know. This one's very weird because it says when an energy spell hit connects, it attempts to inflict a 4-turn energy burn on the energy side of it. And so it might be all right for if there's a energy burn spell that's multiple hits to combine it with. Until then, I don't know that this would be worth an ultra rare if you're running a burn build. So again, I didn't pick this guy up. The Ultimate Brand of Glory, I also did not pick up. Light melee sword that has, I think it's pretty weird because let's see, does a light burn, and then it so one of the items is actually meant for hybrids. But anyway, this one's weird. It does a light burn, and then it eats, once it reaches a certain amount, it eats it for more damage, and then it also eats more of it to do an 8-element seeking, so it ele seeks, and then it also will do a 4-turn prismatic burn. To me, it's way too much of a setup. It is only a rare, so to me it would be understandable to pick it up. I personally think it's kind of one of those weapons that takes too long to really gain any benefit. Almost kind of like People that think they want to use um, whatever that token package is, that after 30, the cold status, it changes to void. It's like takes way too fucking long to get there. Pointless. Wave of Destruction. I did pick this one up. I'll show it off briefly. There's a lot of shit posting and talking about this weapon because it did something for the first time in the game. It actually has a stat drive on the weapon. We've seen stat drives on armors and shields and miscs and stuff like that, but not actually on a weapon. So you get plus 50 dexterity, and it's paid for by taking off 50 end. And so it's just another way for staff to be creative to do damage boosts with weapons. There's nothing wrong with the idea, honestly. You're getting the BTH and the dexterity for your stat damage, and so it's probably a pretty good damaging weapon, especially when you have other stat drives. I don't really see why coming up with new ideas that make an item good is such a bad thing for the game. People probably like using it. But anyway, moving on from religion. Ice Wizard Tome is another thing I picked up. Basically, is an ice spell that inflicts bleed. I'll talk about it in a minute. And then it eats bleed for more damage. I'll talk about it for a minute. And then the Ellie Shield. So what we're going to do first is we're going to stop over and start with the Ice Tomb. So this is the first Ice Tomb, other than that Glacial Short Staff, I guess, like a real one that's properly leveled. So that one's so many years ago. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to show off the Infernal Angel Liberations Spellcaster Lean Bug. So what you do is you first go to Caster. As you can see, the lean is 1 times damage, spells deal 1.375, monster attacks at 1.25. And then all you do is you switch armors to anything you want. You switch back to it, and then your weapon attacks went down to 0.8, but your offensive spells went up to 1.675. They'll eventually fix this bug, but who knows, maybe in 37 years. So, and then you get that plus the initiative bonus there for the armor. Basically, I'm just going to show off. So this is going to inflict bleed. So what's nice about this is if all hits land, it's actually a 1 power bleed. There's no other spell in the game with a 1 power bleed. So this is the highest bleed spell in the game. You can get higher bleeds with weapon attacks and 4-hit armors, like the Eclipse weapons, or even like the Lovestruck Wand, casting light spells. But you're having to, there's like, with the Lovestruck Wand, you're actually having to spend the SP. Here, this is just all about just casting a spell. All right, so let's move on to the next item. So I'm going to show off, let me see here. So this character does not have Prime Chaos Orb. I'll get it for this character one day. So as a result, I'll just move on to the next monster. Let's see what ice is. Ice is, let's see, 80%. That'll be fine, I guess. So this monster endured the assault. So we have a 1 power bleed. So this next one is actually going to eat the bleed, but it's an efficient spell. So much like, I think it was the Love something tomb that inflicted control, I think, and then it ate control. But that was also on an efficient spell. So I guess that's their form of bubble wrap. I'm not for sure. Maybe they have eater spells, a normal spell on non-tombs, but kind of disappointed that it's an efficient spell. Some people like efficient spells. I don't see the point when you can heal back um, resources so easily in the game. But even versus 80% to ice, you could see that it's not a bad amount of damage. This character could also use that new Blood Eater heal spell, probably. So for some reason, I'm failing a lot of these rolls on bleed. All right, 1 power bleed. And then let's go ahead and eat the bleed and see what kind of damage we do with some boosters. So as you can see, multiple thousands of damage. And that's going to be it for the Ice Tomb there. It's an ultra rare, probably not worth the gift box. Oh yeah, I forgot to do the Ellie shield. So the Ellie shield actually is just to so it also inflicts bleed, but it's pretty weak, 0.34. But it gives you an Ellie shield to fire and ice. So I guess the idea here is you can use it. So if you're in a fire armor, then you're going to be attacking with ice most of the time. So the Ellie shield being fire and ice, it is actually going to be, under standard assumptions, it's going to be an extremely strong idea. I would have preferred that it would just be Omni, personally. I'm trying to remember, the Prism Heart Tomb has Omni. I don't really see the point in making it fire ice when Omni would serve the same purpose under standard assumptions. But I guess it is what it is. But yeah, it's just a Ellie shield of fire and ice here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get out of this guy. All right, and we're going to move on to let's see here. I'm going to come back to the Skith in a second. But I have copies. I actually picked up 3 copies of this weapon. I have the one for this guy here, and I have one for my full offensive ranger and my beast warrior. All of them, if you hit 4 hits, will be enough for Void Forged, and I just wanted to show that off. I'll go ahead and hop into Necromancer. Let's see. Need to swap this up here. So basically, you'll click to swap to ranged and swap to melee, and then what this will do is you'll do a darkness poison. I like to use it with Snake Master Strike, so I'm getting the hyper crit to use with the Void Forged. However, I just want to show even something as simple as Grasp Essence. Let's see if all 4 will land. So we have basically a 5 power for 4 round darkness poison. So just land 4 darkness hits, and then as you'll see the next turn, Void Forged will light up. And then you can just attack and get some void damage that inflicts the void poison that heals you. And as you can see, it's pretty significant. But that's it for this weapon on the magic version. The melee and the range version differ. I won't show it real quick, but basically you just do like a 4-hit attack. But those actually Ellie seek between harm and darkness. So, and then they'll actually inflict a harm or darkness poison. And so those poisons are all enough to get access to Void Forged. Extremely good weapon if you have the Void Forged package. To me, releasing these types of weapons actually should be marketing points for Void Forged if you really want to buy that. A lot of people shit on it because it's access to Void, and maybe some people think it's easy access to Void, but I look at it like it's something that's making the company money. So the oh my god, this shouldn't exist bullshit crowd are kind of clueless to the fact that this is a company trying to make money. But those are the items by and large that I picked up for week 1 August. I talked about some of those, and then I'm going to end with, so those are the weapons. I want to end with the Gluttony Pet and Guest. So I didn't talk about that in the info subs earlier, but these are ultra rares, and they are basically burn eaters, and they have each 2 modes, but they both burn eat. The hangry mode does an extra random hit to MP, SP, or HP that's not really, the damage is considered other, so it's non-boostable, so that's their bubble wrap around that, because it heals equal to the damage dealt. And so what you're going to do with this is my burn eater character. So basically on this guy, I'm just going to keep in mind this is just straight damage with burn eating. I don't have any other like Elevon ideas with this. So let's see what I get here. I should probably pick up Wishweaver on this character just to too many clicks on this fucking. Alright, let me do this real quick. Alright, so water spells will now inflict water burns. One of the drawbacks is the guest, actually. There's no summons version, but the amount that it can eat actually will scale with ferocious strikes, apparently. So ferocious strikes, if it does double damage, then you can actually eat more burn. But all I'm going to do here is just to inflict a stacked burn. So I'm using water and water. I could also use, like, for example, let's see, a different element. So if I'm going to eat the burn, it doesn't really matter what element I'm using as long as it's not negative, and therefore it won't inflict. and then we'll just see what happens with the pet and guest. Not too bad. Let's see. So I still have the permanent harm burn. Still have some ice burn, even though it's power 0 for 5 turns. It's weird. So as you can see, there's still some burn there. I'm probably not in the proper armor here, but so again, so it's a burn eater combo. I haven't really played too much with the combo to see what kind of ideas I can do. Like I said, I probably should bring over maybe a Wishweaver Misc, especially on Celerity. It's going to be 200% potential on the Elevon, but some of my alts don't really have like Power Gauntlet and stuff quite yet, so that's in my plans for later when that comes back. But the Gluttony Pet and Guest here is also on the Week 1 crossover. Probably the pet is a must-have. The guest is if you have extra boxes. Again, I think the guest has some more potential with some other items. I just haven't played with it yet. But anyway, that's the end of this video. If you have any questions or anything about any of the items, just leave comments.